YouTube? It's Charles here, and today is time for one of my favorites. Haven't done as many as I'd like to, but I'm going to be doing more of these. It's what got the channel started. It is action figure unboxing time. And we got one I've been wanting to get for quite a while. It is a Ringside Collectables exclusive. I thought that, it would never be in my price range and it was out before it reached my price range. But no, I was able to get one at a very good price, $20. And it is the Ringside Collectables Hook action figure. Yes, the son of Taz. I mentioned in my unboxing of this Saraya figure that I got 4 figures I'm going to be unboxing this month. All of them second generation wrestlers. Complete accident. But this is the son of Taz AEW Superstar Hook Ringside Collectible. And first thing I'm going to comment on is the packaging. The AEW Jazwares packaging is really not my thing. I feel like it could be more user friendly. Just to get the figure out of the packaging, you gotta practically destroy the packaging. But this right here, it is a simple box. We have a picture on both sides, and we have a flap here. So if you want to display it in box, you can simply open this flap, which has a Velcro dot on it. And you can display it, and it has 730, which I believe is the area code to New York, where Hook is from. And then you can see the action figure along with all of the accessories and package. But this is not that type of channel. I unbox these things. So let's get into it. Like I said, the packaging is very user friendly. There's a little piece of tape on the top that I cut earlier. Yeah, simple as that. You have an intact box. And this action figure comes loaded with accessories. Okay, so we got it out of the box, unpackaged, all the accessories and the action figure are out. So let's take a look at it, talk about it, and see what this is all about. The way that I do these action figure unboxing is I start with the appearance, go to articulation, and then accessories. So we're talking about appearance here. We have a head sculpt here with the trademark big hair. From the outside of the package looking in, I thought the hair was a little bit cartoony, but when you actually get a closer look at it, there is great detail in the hair, to where, the hairstyle that he has, all fluffed up, kind of thin, it'd be a hard thing to recreate in action figure form, but I think they did a good job here, and the likeness is pretty spot on. You have all of the tattoos, the necklace here. I'm not sure what that says. And then as far as trunks go, we have the boxing style trunks with the 730 on the back, Hook on the front, boxing style boots as well. No knee pads on Hook. I think that is one thing that really sets him apart too as a wrestler, is that his gear is very different from a lot of the guys that you see. A lot of these guys, like I said, either wear wrestling singlet or traditional trunks. But him, he dresses like a boxer, and he comes to wrestling from a different athletic background than most. A lot of people come from either amateur wrestling or football, but he was a college lacrosse guy, and trained, under his father, who, Taz, a great wrestler, catch-can wrestler, great with the suplexes, innovative of that, that heavy style of suplexes, and so on and so forth. And he carries on that tradition And he has one thing that his father didn't have, a little bit of height to him. So I think that, he has the potential to go far as young as he is. And so that is, about the looks. Like I said, very basic. Comes with the hood, which if you were watching Team Taz back in the day, I would say for quite a while, maybe a year, he would come to the ring in support of Will Hobbs and Ricky Starks, and he would, you know, at first do nothing but almost act as a manager. And he would, skulk around the ring in his hoodie. And week by week, as the more he was on TV, he would show a little bit more personality and, come to the forefront of Team Taz. And, they didn't rush him. I mean, you got to know him well before he did a wrestling move, and it built up anticipation to see, okay, well, what's this kid going to do? And I remember the first time that, you saw him get physical in a match, he was out there in support of Will Hobbs and Ricky Starks, and one of their competitors went outside the ring, and Hook, still in his jogging pants and hoodie, hooked the dude up for a T-bone suplex and threw him, I'd say 5 feet across the outside of the ring. Very impressive for, a guy who hadn't said nothing. He just kind of scoped around the ring with his bag of chips and, a backpack being in the background. And I think what that role did for him was it built up anticipation of what he was going to be as a wrestler. And it got him comfortable being in front of cameras. AEW is, a nationally televised company, and being a second generation wrestler, not having to run on the indies, and so you're kind of having to learn on the job. Well before he, entered his first official match, he was used to being on TV and used to being in the background of interviews and TV segments. And so the hoodie became a big part of his act, a big part of, what he had going on. We got the backpack here, that's part of the accessories. And the alternate head comes with the shades. So, that's the appearance, and then we're going to talk about articulation. The head is on a swivel, the neck goes back and forth, round and round. I should have did this before I put the jacket on. But if you are a fan of Jazwares, it's pretty standard. We have the ball joint shoulder, the cut between the shoulder and the bicep, double jointed elbows, wrist go back and forth, round and round, and the torso swivels. Hip moves side to side slightly. Ball jointed legs at the hip. We have a cut in the thigh for horizontal movement. Elbow jointed pinned knees. And we have a cut on the calf right at the boot. So the boot's a separate part. And then the heels go a little slightly side to side, but mostly a back and forth motion. And then check this out too on the boot. I missed that when I saw the appearance. The 730 on the boot. And so that is the articulation. Nothing new there. But then let's talk about accessories. We got the jacket. We got the alternate head with the shades. One of the funniest accessories, at least I find it humorous, is we have the alternate hand, which is not a fist, but it is simply a hand holding a corn chip. Because in the background of Team Taz promos, while he was smoking around outside the ring, he would always have his bag of chips, which we actually have here, a Dorito looking bag, but instead of Doritos or anything, it says Hook. You have a picture of the actual corn chips. And so we have him holding the chip there in the background, bag of chips in hand. You know, kind of a funny callback to his early days before he actually got in the ring and he was just hanging around with Team Taz and the backpack. Of course, not sure what was in the backpack, but it comes with all these little fun accessories. And one very cool accessory that I wanted to get is the FTW Championship title. Now, this has never been officially sanctioned by any company. Hook's dad, Taz, created it in ECW as kind of a way to mock then ECW champion Sabu, as kind of, saying that he was the real champion. Here is his FTW champion, meaning F, the explicitive, the world. And he would wear this, and funny story is he actually defended it against Sabu and lost it to Sabu, and Sabu reluctantly wore this thing and taped over it, tried to make it look a little bit more respectable. It kind of fell out of contention, I believe, when Taz went to WWE. And it was put on ice until Taz joined AEW as a manager and an announcer. And I think the first person he put it on, I can't remember if it was, I think it might have been Brian Cage. Maybe, but I know Brian Cage held it for a while. Ricky Starks held it for a while. And Ricky Starks ended up losing it to Hook. And Hook ended up retiring the title. So even though it's appeared in 2 different companies, and we have it as an action figure accessory, and it was defended, and it was never officially sanctioned, but it's one of those cool little pieces of history, and I thought it was cool to see Hook defend and carry the title that his father, the actual title his father created. And so that is a cool little accessory right here, a little piece of ECW and AEW history memorialized in plastic. I see why this was a Ringside exclusive action figure. All of the accessories are top notch. We have, like I said, the little details that almost tell the history of this character, from him being a manager, skulking around on the outside in his hoodie with his corn chips, to him, carrying around the legacy of his father in that FTW championship, and, to this day forging his own road in AEW. He's recently gotten back from, I don't know if it was injury time as well, but he was also shooting a movie. But he is back on the AEW television, and I was able to get this at a great price. And so I'm happy to add this to my collection. It is one of the better AEW action figures I've actually had in hand. So if you can get it while you can. RingsideCollectables.com. They have all of the AEW action figures plus exclusives, and they have great deals on the throwback Ring of Honor action figures. They have Brody Lee. Before WWE and before his AEW, they have his Ring of Honor action figure. They have Ring of Honor Kenny Omega back when he was in the black trunks and the short curly hair. They have Claudio action figure from the Ring of Honor days. I think there may be an Adam Cole as well. But they have lots of great deals on Ring of Honor, AEW action figures, and of course WWE figures. But we're talking about Hook right now, the son of Taz, who I see as having a very bright future in professional wrestling. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Check it out, Ringside Collectables. Like I said, get it while they last, because I don't see them sticking around too much longer, especially now that he's back on TV. I'll see you next time. Until then, keep buying them action figures. I'm out.